Hey guys, Small Defender 101 here, and this is my Raw review. Now, before I continue, when you watch my Royal Rumble review, which is my previous video before this, um, the feed did kind of cut off. Just a quick recap of what I need to say. Um, my ratings for the matches, like the star ratings, are in the description box below in that video, as well as a link to my ask.fm page if you want to ask me any questions, and the overall rating of the pay per view. It might seem a little high, but I enjoyed the Rumble as all hell. So, I just wanted to say that, just to make sure to get it out of the way. Overall, great Rumble pay per view. Um, Even though the ending just reminded me so much of WWF 2000. But either way, great Rumble ending. And this leads me to what this video is about, my Raw review. Now, I took some notes of the Raw, and just to tell you guys, I'm not going to be reviewing just Raw. I'm going to be reviewing TNA Impact, which is on tonight. I hope the God it's recorded. I'll just watch it online. I'll be reviewing Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, and New Japan when I can. I'm not going to watch every single New Japan or New Japan Access, although I will watch it because recently JR, the good old Jim Ross, he has um, taken over as the new English commentator over Mauro Ranallo, who's now in WWE, as the New Japan Access TV commentator. So, JR commentary for New Japan matches. I'm happy. uh, Sorry about that. Um, let's just go over Raw, shall we? Um, of course, we start with an authority segment. I am fucking sick to death of the authority. Although, if there was anything positive about this segment, is that Triple H came out, not with Stephanie or Vince. He came out with, his old theme song, with the WWE title, with his new Triple H side plates, which I actually looked on the WWE YouTube page. They're actually, and they show the side plates, being put up, being screwed on. They actually look pretty damn good. These side plates, you can't fault WWE when it comes to making the side plates because they actually look pretty cool. Um, it was very it was very fun, very nice, and it's the only saving grace of the segment. Really, it really is the only saving grace of the segment, or else I would have just given up right there. The next segment actually a match. It's Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Short, I think it was like an 8-minute match. I just didn't clock in a lot of time for these matches, except for 3, but this is one of them. Um, it was a decent match for what it was. Before I continue, the Authority were saying that, and Stephanie McMahon, I believe, said this, that she'll be surveying all the matches tonight. And from looking at those matches, she will determine a number one contendership match for the WWE title at WrestleMania. So whoever wins the match at Fastlane is going to face Triple H in the main event. And at this point, I'm like, it's going to be Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I can't see it in somebody else. That was my prediction at that moment. By the way, I was wrong. Kind of. I was kind of wrong and kind of right. But I'll get to that in case you haven't watched Raw. So Owens beat Ziggler after a last man standing match last night, which was a great match. Not last night, the night before. I mean, because I'm recording this on Tuesday. Um, so yeah, Owens, beat Ziggler pretty handily and I believe pretty cleanly. So yeah. Next thing that started up was a JoJo interview of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns showed up saying, I'm not going to leave Raw until Stephanie makes the announcement of who's going to be in the match at Fastlane. The next segment, I believe, was a match. Was it? Yeah, it was. Oh God, yeah. The Dudley Boys defeated the Outcasts in a match, which I believe was Heath Slater and Adam Rose. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe it was Heath Slater and Adam Rose they faced. Um, it was a nothing match. I mean, even though even though Josh from Tough Enough, one of the winners, said on his Twitter account, and then he deleted social outcast, more like social jobbers. As cruel as that is, first of all, you never say that to another employee because you get immediate heat. They could drop you like that from your contract because you just went Tough Enough. You're going in to train for $250,000. They can drop you like the insect that you are, technically speaking, in the company. Um, but yeah, these guys really are jobbers, as much as I hate to say, because I like these guys, especially Bo Dallas. He was so good in NXT, and much like Tyler Breeze, oh god, they screwed him over in the main roster. They kept his gimmick, but other than that, it was bad. Another thing I just found out about was that when the hell has Bo Dallas worn a singlet? As far as I know, he's only worn tights. Now he's wearing a singlet. Where the hell did that come from? No, seriously, guys, tell me, if you can, in the comments section, tell me when Bo Dallas started wearing a singlet. If it was the Rumble, because I know he was wearing the same singlet rewatching the Rumble match, because Social Outcast went for the interference, and I saw Dallas, and I'm like, yeah, he's wearing a singlet under that shirt. But anyways, Dudley's defeated Social Outcast. Dudley's deserve a lot better. They better be in the title picture soon, the tag team title picture. And they're treated like freaking jobbers. Not jobbers per se, but like just a step above jobber. He's like where Jack Swagger is. He's not totally jobber, but he's almost there, man. And the Dudleys are there, and they're teasing. I believe they might do a breakup after WrestleMania if they ever do that TLC match I mentioned. And it's weird because Bubba might go back to his Bully Ray character, at least not under that name, but the type of character, because he's good enough for that role. Devon can't do anything. What is he going to go back to doing? Reverend Devon? As funny as that was? No, Devon's career's done after they break up. I don't see him doing anything. After the match, which was just a nothing match, was a backstage segment with Renee Young talking to AJ Styles, who made his debut the night before at the Royal Rumble, his WWE debut, and that was Raw debut. I'm sitting on my bed. Jericho came in, said, hey, I've always wanted to face you. Acted a little bit heelish at the end, because at the end of the little, cutting backstage promo on Styles, he slaps on the back like this. I'm not on the back, the chest like this, and say, welcome to the big leagues, kid. Which Jericho does actually understand that. He was kind of treated that way, sort of, when he came into WWE in '99 when he left WCW. So he knew exactly what he was talking about, and kind of like mixed irony there. So, and earlier in the night, they promoted Styles and Chris Jericho as a match. Now, I have no problem with them having a match. In fact, it was a dream match, and like I said in the Rumble video, I wanted to see that for a long time. Only problem is that they only got an hour's worth of advertising in, maybe less. I wish they would have saved this for next week maybe, but hey, we got the match that night, which I believe was next. Yeah, it was next. It was AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. I believe it ended hour 1, went into hour 2 of Raw, and it was a good match. Nice, brief, good match. Case you're curious about my rating, it's a 3.5 star match. Um, it was a good match. I did expect better, considering Styles has had probably the best years of his career since leaving TNA, and that even includes his 2005-2006 run. He has had the best years of his career leaving TNA, especially in 2015 at his match with Nakamura just earlier this much as this month. Um, so I kind of expected more, but for what it was, the 13 and a half minutes, it was a good match. I just I just hope to expect better next time if they have a rematch. They shook hands after the match. Styles won. They teased the Styles Clash again, which he did not use. And Jericho shook his hand, but then kind of like went like very close to his face, like very kind of heelish. Not the first time we saw this too, because early in the night I told you, slap Styles in the chest, and back at Night of Champions last year, after the match was over, Reigns and Ambrose and Jericho were together after losing to the Wyatt family, which was Harper, Strowman, and Wyatt. And Jericho, instead of saying anything, kind of bumped Dean Ambrose's shoulder and walked away. So I am expecting a heel turn very soon. See what match was next? Oh yeah. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch went to a no contest after 3.5 minutes, and considering the fact that last time they had a 3-minute match, Mick Foley was pissed. Pretty sure he was just as mad now when that happened. Now, at least this time it served a purpose because it ended in a no contest. Charlotte came in for the run-in, beat up Becky, threw him on the outside. No, beat up Sasha, threw her on the outside, and then beat up Becky. Sasha came in, attacked Charlotte, which Charlotte fought back and eventually got the upper handle on. And I'm predicting a singles match between Charlotte and Sasha for Fastlane in February, and I'm predicting a triple threat match for the Divas title at WrestleMania, which actually would be very awesome. They don't have to pin Charlotte. They don't. If Sasha does win the match, she doesn't have to pin Charlotte. She doesn't have to pin Becky, but she probably is going to pin Becky. It could be either way. Honestly, I would just pin Charlotte because Becky's on a roll. I would hate to take her off that roll. Let's see here. Next was man. Next was a segment between Goldust and R-Truth. It was a backstage segment. It served absolutely no purpose. Oh god. Goldust went in on Truth's area, like his stall area, took out his headphones, listened to it. It was supposed to be played up for comedy. It really wasn't funny. It was not funny at all. I didn't like it. It was that shit comedy that just a little while ago we were seeing from Adam Rose, and look where he is now. After the worst segment of the night was probably the best segment of the night, aside from maybe the Styles Jericho match, was The Rock, the returning. All night they were hyping up some big star returning. It was a limo. Out comes Miz because he's a quote unquote movie star, which he's only ever done DVD released movies. And he came in, was talking to Rick Brennan, who's one of the backstage interviewers, which, thank God he's not on NXT commentary, because I much prefer the commentary of Corey Graves and Tom Phillips. They're so much better than Brennan, Byron Saxton, and Graves. So Miz is talking shit. Out comes The Rock when he shows up in a truck. So I guess he's ripping off Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he comes in. He basically mocks several people and he mocks Miz first. Miz saying like, "You're not gonna steal my spotlight like you did at WrestleMania, in 2011, WrestleMania 27." And then Rock is like, "Oh yeah, Miz, yeah, I remember you. Hey, do the Rock a favor and park the Rock's truck." I thought that was funny. Put Miz in his place, like a bitch. um. Afterwards, um he talked to one of the celebrities that was there that night. Um. It wasn't Flo Rida, even though he actually was part of the Dudley's social outcast match, which didn't add any heat at all. So what the hell was that for? But it was one of the celebrities, I believe. I didn't know who he was. Maybe it was Flo Rida. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. And they talked. Not show. Rock came up to Big Show afterwards. Show was on a laptop, and they were talking. He said, "Oh, I was watching that one match we had at the Royal Rumble back in 2000, and they were arguing back and forth. Eventually, made Big Show cry, which I swear, Big Show's stealing Ric Flair's gimmick that his greatest enemy is crying. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Um, Afterwards, The Rock came up to. I know he came up to somebody else. Um, I forget who he came up to next, but anyways, he he came out on the stage. He came out to the ring, cut another promo. Out comes New Day. Oh, I was happy because I'm like, oh, jeez, the banter between these guys. New Day cut a promo. It's good as always. Where are New Day ever bad at cutting promos? Which also was the debut of Francesca. I believe it was last night Royal Rumble, but it was the Raw debut of Francesca 2. A couple weeks ago, um, Chris Jericho broke Francesca, the trombone, and they had a funeral the next week. And Raw last night, the trombone came back, except it was Francesca 2, not just Francesca. So I guess it's like, Jesus. They're funny at what they do. Um, but yeah, they cut a promo on Rock. Rock, in turn, said, "Yeah, I know you guys are. You have the llama penises on your head." With them saying they don't have llama penises, and then he was saying, they had. I know who you guys are. You're the three chocolate cornholes. And New Day said, "We might beat you up, but we'll just leave." Out come the Usos, which are introduced by Rock. They beat up New Day, sort of, and they push him back to the ring. Rock bottoms Biggie, I believe. Um, Kofi Kingston eats a super kick from one of the Usos, and then they roll in Xavier Woods. I and they either super kick him to Rock or just push him to Rock. But either way, Rock gets a spine buster, people's elbow. People loved this. And there was another funny segment before New Day came out. There was four guys in the front row who was wearing a Hogan, who were wearing costumes, dressed up as Taker, Hogan, Savage, and I think somebody else, I forget. And Rock actually mentioned this, and actually went out, and they were chanting Randy Savage the whole time. And even during the Dudley's Outcast match, no, not during the Dudley's Outcast match, but during a later match, they were chanting Randy Savage. And Rock, came in, did stuff with them, basically have fun. Which I'm pretty sure that infuriated Vince because they were showing a guy who was dressed up as Hulk Hogan. That I knew he went off the script there. I'm like, oh god, he's gonna pay for that. Afterwards, in another match, Paige and Natalia faced Brie Bella and Alicia Fox in a 2.5 minute match. So now we're back to this shit. And why did this match happen? I'll tell you why. This match happened because apparently, Paige got blocked by Alicia Fox on Twitter on Total Divas. We are back to Total Divas bullshit. I thought we were past this with the four horsewomen. Apparently not. This is all just hyping up the return of Total Divas tonight on on the E network. Let's see, what happened after that? Let's see. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Before the Rock segment, I totally missed it. I don't know how. It's written right there. But there was a match between Bray Wyatt and Kane, which was horrible. The 7 minutes they were in was just, it was crap. And so at one point, fans were chanting the Randy Savage guy, which was very cool. Because it's like, they actually cared about him. And so there was that, horrible segment. Kalisto defeated Miz, which I was happy for because, it's not going to be one of those things where Kalisto loses the U.S. title to Miz just the next night after he won it, so it's not Del Rio all over again. I don't think Del Rio's out of the title picture. They might have a rematch, but I hope it's just one-off, and then Kalisto defends it against somebody else, and hopefully loses the title to Neville at WrestleMania. I would like that, because that would be a really good match. It would be like WCW back in '96 when there was Cruiserweights opening up the show, and it was hyping up the crowd. It's exactly what it needed to be. And I hope they do that. Afterwards was a tag team match between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns against two members of I was about to say the Nation, the League of Nations, against Rusev and was it Rusev and Sheamus? Yeah, it was Rusev and Sheamus. Barrett was injured, but he was there. Del Rio was there as well. So all four. I said the Nation, and I'm like, God, I just want the Nation of Domination back. A Nation of Domination reunion is what we need. before Mark Henry retires, we need a Nation of Domination reunion. Just bring back Farouk. Bring back D'Lo. Bring back Kama. Not as the Godfather, but as Kama. That'll be awesome. So, shenanigans happens. Reigns and Ambrose win after a decent tag team match. Then afterwards, they lay out Rusev or Sheamus. I think it was Rusev though. They laid out Rusev on one of the announce tables, Shades of the Shield, because it was like that triple power bomb without Seth Rollins. And afterwards, Stephanie McMahon comes out, congratulates them, saying that the match at Fastlane. Now, I was about to say, it's going to be a singles match or a triple threat match with Styles, because Styles, was definitely great that night. He was over really well. She announced a triple threat match between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and the Beast Brock Lesnar. I immediately looked forward to Fastlane because for some reason, Brock Lesnar seems to do very well at triple threats. Vengeance 2003 with Angle and Big Show. The Royal Rumble last year with Seth Rollins and John Cena. He's done well in a few other triple threats, like the SmackDown match with him, Undertaker, and Big Show. And working with two guys like Reigns and Ambrose, I think there's a great match there if they give him enough time. Obviously, the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family will interfere, hopefully near the end, where they screw over Lesnar. They give a mini match to Reigns and Ambrose, where Reigns wins, goes on to beat Triple H at WrestleMania. Because we know that's what's going to happen. We know it's going to be Reigns Triple H at WrestleMania. We know Reigns is going to win. It's so predictable. Even though they could have gone down a different road, it's so predictable how they did this. Though it won't be. I just hope it won't be bad. So that was Raw. It was a good show, but it had its low points. It had several low points that I just didn't enjoy at all. Good match with Jericho and Styles. They're building feuds here, so at least they're building towards WrestleMania, it's called the Road to WrestleMania. Let's face it. So decent Raw show. Nothing you should go out of your way to see except for the Styles Jericho match. And that's my review of it. So Stay well, guys. I will see you next time. Hope with a TNA review. Okay, later, guys.